welcome everybody. We're going to do another everyday makeup drawer and testing new makeup drawers. That's what this is. I am getting over a cold, so this is the first time that I have gotten up, that I have done anything in several days. I ended up getting COVID, so I don't know how I got it, but I did, and I am now just getting up, getting back, getting on my feet. So that's why my voice sounds like this. If you guys are new to these videos, this is what I do. Over here is my everyday makeup drawers. I can kind of see this camera is like not perfect today, but hopefully everything is in frame. And then over here is everything that I'm testing. So there's a lot of stuff going on in here. I have not had time since I got sick for the past couple of weeks to do a lot of testing new makeup. I haven't gotten out of bed. So there's a lot of stuff in here that is hanging on from the month of July. I do go over everything in here with you guys. I swatch everything. We do have some bins of stuff that I have been accumulating. You know, one of the things I tend to do while I'm sick is I shop. It's been a thing. It's been a whole thing. So anyway, let's start off with this side. That's what I typically do, like whatever drawer is over here, and then I switch them around, and then we'll do my everyday makeup drawer. We do have a Shop My Stash and like a very small declutter. There's like one thing that I want to get rid of from the Shop My Stash. That happens sometimes. Nothing gets decluttered from over here. So that's my husband sneezing. All right, you guys, let's get into it. Let's start off with the stuff up at the top here. So the first thing that I have up here is the Lancome Skin Tint. I literally did not test this at all in the month of July. It's the first time that I wore it in a testing new makeup video, and I haven't touched it since then. You know, part of the reason is it just wasn't my favorite. It wasn't bad, but it was very light coverage. It just didn't do an extra like lot for me. See like the pearl in it? It wasn't terrible. It just like, that's not necessarily what I go for on an everyday basis. The reason that I picked this up is because a lot of Lancome foundations tend to be some of my favorites. So like I usually will pick them up, and sometimes I find that they don't perform how they say they are, that they're a little bit different than the description. This one really truly is kind of like what it says. Like, you see this? This is like the L'Oreal Le Lumi Glotion version of like the more expensive skin tint in the same packaging as the Urban Decay Face Bond. So honestly, I haven't touched it since then, so it's got to stay up here. This one is the new one from Benefit, the Professional. So far, I really like this. This is a natural matte finish foundation. It says medium coverage, but it's like medium to full coverage. It's also nice and lightweight. The wear test on this was really good, but honestly, less is more. The only thing that I find with this one is that it doesn't match what it says in terms of undertone, because this one is 5C, which is 5 cool, and it doesn't come out a very cool shade. It's more neutral leaning. And that's kind of really the only thing that I noticed with it. Otherwise, I think so far it's kind of a really high performer for me and what I like. Obviously gonna keep both of those up here because I haven't touched them since the one time that I tried them. Okay, this I got from Ulta when I was in store. It's the Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer. I mean, I've just heard so many good things about this particular primer. A lot of people have said that it's really good and really poreless, or makes you look really poreless, so I wanted to give it a shot. I used it once and didn't notice too much, so that's kind of like where I'm at with this one. But that one's not a new release. This one I picked up on Amazon because I did see someone like on TikTok use this. It's the Sheeta makeup, and it's like it's a powder liner where you're supposed to like just swipe this between your eyes to get your upper and lower water lines. I used it once, but it's a powder in here, and so it's not like super long lasting. I mean, it definitely works for the purposes of like, if you guys have seen these videos where you like swipe it and it deposits to the upper and lower water lines, like it's okay, but like the not long lasting, I would rather just use a waterproof one. But I used it once and still testing. These two from MAC are new releases, the lip glass. This is fabulous here in the shade Talented. I love a highly pigmented gloss. That's just my preferred style. It's not everybody's necessarily, but I love this because it's very smooth and non-sticky. This might be reformulated and renamed. They're MAC Lip Glazer. They've had these before, the glossy liners, and this one's in the shade Ribbon. I mean, it is really pretty, and it does have like a nice satinness to it. And I have other liners that like have a satin finish, but it just wasn't super long lasting. And although I do prefer my liners to be on the creamy side, I do prefer that they're a little bit more long lasting than this. It just causes these two to like bleed together within like a minute. But I've only worn it the one day that I was testing it. These two new releases are the Smoky Kohl liners from e.l.f. No, sorry, this is the Smoky Kohl liner from e.l.f. I actually bought two new shades after I tested the green one, like the emerald green one that I got in the testing new makeup video, but I loved these so much that I went back and got more shades because these are like $4, $3. They're so good for smoking out, like to just do a smoky look. Oh, they were so good. And they're not terribly short-lived liners either, so I actually really liked them. $3. Listen, so I got that shade because it's a really cool like chartreuse shade, and this is their no budge retractable eyeliner that I want to say is like $8 or something. Anyway, I use liners like this all the time in the waterline, so I've only used that one once too, still testing. All right, let's go through the powders that I have up here that I'm testing. These have been in here since last month when I did this video. Polite Society's Universal More Than a Pretty Powder Loose Setting Powder. It's okay. It's okay, that's all it is. For combo skin, it's nothing special. This one is just the mini. It's really finely milled, but so far it's not doing anything extra for me. This one here from Iconic London, not a new release the way the one from Polite Society is. This is the Velvet Blur Translucent Setting Powder. Listen, it's blurring and it's pretty. I used this once or twice, but I was so dewy, like 2 hours, 3 hours in, so dewy. And that's just not my jam, especially in the summertime, because I am so combo and I am sweating. This one here from Natasha Denona is the powder foundation in N1. I did wear this only once, so my thoughts are limited to that. I did do a testing new makeup video with this. Not that it was like a new release necessarily, it was just something that I picked up with a bunch of other new makeup with the Professional foundation. So I did wear this with that foundation and I did enjoy it. I still have to test it more than one time and with other things, but so far I am enjoying it. So I did move it to the drawer, and this I actually heard is a really good powder for people who have more combo to oily skin. So, you know, I'm always on the hunt for that. The Kimchi Chic Puff Puff Pass Set and Bake Powder in the shade Translucent, and I think I've used this one time, so I have no thoughts. So these are the powders that I've got going for me in the testing new makeup. I don't have any other new setting powders, so this drawer is gonna stay like this for August. I had highlighters next, but I think we'll move the highlighters to the bottom drawer, and maybe what I'll do here is combine the blushes together. Oh, I have so many blush still. So many blush. It's embarrassing. There are some that I can actually take out of here, so that's kind of what I want to do now. This one from Laura Mercier is not a new release, but it's a shimmery blush, the blush color Infusion in All That Sparkles. I have worn this. I wanted to give it more of a shot, but I already know how I feel about it. It's really pretty, but it's that kind of shade that tends to maybe like cast a teensy bit gray on me. Sometimes when I zoom in too much, it gets a little blurry. So anyway, it's a nice powder. Like, I'm good. I have tested this. I can now move this along so that I can put it in a speed reviews. Even though it's not a new release, I always talk about the new makeup in speed reviews videos, just in case you guys were wondering. I wonder if that's a limited edition. I know that I just recently got it, but I like don't know how long it's gonna be out. This one from Lawless I do want to try more, probably because it was a little bit ago that I tried it and I just don't remember it as much. Make Me Blush Velvet Blush in Desert Rose. It looks deeper than it comes out. Like, it actually buffs out really nicely. It looks good on my fair skin. I want to keep this one in here. So if you guys know my obsession with these Fenty blushes, you know I've like basically been collecting all the shades. So this is a new one in the shade Just a Crush that I haven't used more than once, maybe. I just like a metallic shimmery blush, and I love a gold sheen. You know, that's not for everybody, but that's what I personally like, and so blushes like this are some of my favorite. Same thing with the Cheek Lover Marbled Blush from Catrice and Dahlia Blossom. This is actually my second shade. When these first launched, So like some version of them, because I have like the oil infused cheek lover blush too in hibiscus something hibiscus, and it's gorgeous. This one has like more of a silver sheen, where the one I have in hibiscus something is more of like a gold peach, and this is pinky silver. So I have used this one probably once and it needs to stay. This Kevin Aqua one I bought on Ipsy. It's the Neo Nude Blush in Sunset, which is a bright coral. This one I used probably twice already, but I still want to test it one more time. It's kind of like the Lawless one, where it's just been a minute since I tested it. Guys, I'm telling you, COVID kicked my booty. I actually wound up in the hospital, believe it or not, and I was there for 24 hours. It was absolutely terrifying. Okay, so I'm still trying to get my thoughts around this one, specifically because it's in ombre blush, and I'm trying to decide whether or not I can pick up like enough of the sparkly over here that's like a highlighter to be something that I like, because this is like fully matte and it's just really kind of deep. So I don't know if it's going to be something that I love. I need to use it one more time. And then this one for Milani I picked up. Why? I mean, I don't know. If you guys saw my last video, you probably know. My son wanted to get everybody that went to Walmart with us, like, to get something for themselves. So my grandmother, we had to get her, like, a card, and Chase wanted me to pick out a makeup item. Chase, my son, sorry, he's 7. So I like these blushes. This one doesn't have, like, the same sheen as Dolce Pink and Luminoso in Berry Amore. It's not sheenless necessarily, but I guess the one time that I used it, I didn't love it as much as those 2 other shades. So I still need to test it. And then the Maybelline Fit Me blush in the shade Peach. I got this because I'm always kind of like on the hunt for like shimmery blushes, and sometimes I see a blush in store and I'm like, is that shimmery? I need to try it. I think the sheen on this is very, very slight, if there is like one at all. So far, I don't even think I've put this on my cheeks. I've just swatched it. So, I mean, if there's a sheen, it's like the slightest sheen. So these are all the powder blushes, but I have so many blush. You know what? Let's go through this and see if there's any more powder blush that I can like add to it. Even though I'm overwhelmed with this, I still need to add more, or I'll never get to it. Okay, I think there's only 2, so I don't feel like that's too much. Let's put them in here. The Fenty Cheek Suede Powder Blush. I got another ship. I got another ship? What am I saying? I need to go back to sleep. Another shade in Daiquiri Dip. Okay, that's why. Shade and dip put together. Good job, Carrie. Now, I will say I do not love all of these shades, even though I'm going for broke. Can't even remember where I got this, you guys. It might have been Ipsy at this point, just because all of these shades, but this one's a red shade. This one has a lot less shimmer to it than some of the other ones that I have. Honestly, there's only one shade in here that I haven't loved, which is Riri, because it's honestly just too deep of a shade for me, and these can be pretty pigmented, so that's the only shade I don't like. But you know what, I barely have any red shades, so it was definitely like, all right, I can get this, and this is not something I have a million of, so I don't feel bad about it. And at this point, I just feel like I'm collecting these, and because they've been so heavily discounted, I haven't felt bad about getting them. So we'll add this one, and the other one is just a shade extension. I mean, to my collection rather. Shade extension for me, it's a second shade. This was the Super Suede Powder Blush from Say, and this one's in the shade Stella. So the other one that I have, Mia, is kind of a warm pink shade, and this one is like supposed to be like a corally shade. This one is not as like shimmery, or sheeny rather, as the Mia shade, but I do like it. The one time that I tried it, like, I love the formula. Those are super soft and very blurring. Like, can you see just the difference between like the Fenty, which is quite opaque? And I'm not saying that these aren't blurring, but this is just like a much more muted tone. So it's so easy to control and put on, and they have good lasting power, and the finish on them is really nice. So I think that's it in terms of the powder blush that I have. Okay, I don't feel super overwhelmed, but I did find 2 more of the Tower 28 blushes. The Get Set blushes, I have Sawtell Slushy and Culver Crush. So I'll add these, but I hated these. These are way too matte for me, you guys. I'm just not into matte. I really am not. And I know that that's probably unpopular opinion, but they looked so flat on my cheeks, and they're honestly quite pigmented. Like, even for being a blurring blush, because they have like a setting powder in them, so they're supposed to set down, I just think that they're a little bit too intense for me, too matte too. So the combination just didn't sit well with me. I mean, I will try again to do like the absolute lightest hand. That one is Culver Crush, and that's Saltel Slushy. But I didn't love these. So that's not a crazy amount of powder blushes. It's really where we get to the cream and liquids that's gonna overwhelm me. Let's put the cream and liquids kind of on hold for a second. And let's go over some lip products, eye products, and kind of other things that I can move up here. All right, let's start off with this terrible announcement. So Ami Collet has announced that she's going to, well, the owner has announced that she's going to close the brand. This mascara is my favorite, the Lash Amplifying Mascara. I mean, I have others that I love, but this, oh my gosh, this is one of my absolute holy grails. I have just finished off the last tube. I love this. You guys, if you liked the Cali Ray Come Hell or High Water, this mascara is so similar to that. And it's not even like a wand style necessarily that I would just like run to, but this is such a damn good mascara. It gives volume, it gives length, it's clean, it's not clumpy or chunky. It's like the best all-in-one mascara, and no one talks about this, and now they're not going to be able to. So when she announced, the owner announced that she's closing, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to buy 3. And the last one that I had literally just expired. Like, it started to smell, and I've never had a mascara smell on me before. So I got 3 more. I guess is the last 3 of my life. I will cherish them, assuming that she ends up like closing and doesn't like just come out of Sephora and like ends up getting funding later or whatnot. But anyway, 3 was all I could bring myself to buy, but those are amazing. These right here are, I'm not even gonna open this one, but I will put this one up. It's the Longwear Gel Eyeliner. Why I got this, I don't know. When I was looking for this on Amazon, I saw this and I was like, ooh, maybe I can do a cat eye with this, just because how it's like shaped. But I don't do cat eyes. I want to, but like I don't. And honestly, like any liner or shadow in that particular part of my eye, I don't do well with anyway, because my eyes are so sensitive. Like maybe it's just not something that I'm gonna end up doing, but I will put it up here to test it. And this one I'll just kind of put back in my little bins because it came with a 2-pack, and I don't know if I'm gonna even like it, so why open it if I could pass it along. I got this in store from ColourPop, the Super Shock Shadow in the shade Party of 5. Did I need another single? Absolutely not. Just not. That is a big fat no, I didn't. But this was so gorgeous when I was walking through the ColourPop aisle that I was like, well, shit. Look at that. It's like blue on top of pink. I don't know if you guys have ever heard me talk about how I feel about blue sparkles on top of pink, but it's something serious. That's how I feel about it. So yes, I do not have a lot of Super Shocks in my collection, nor have I gone head over heels as them as like single shadows, but sometimes they do really unique shades, really undeniably good looking shades. So when I saw that walking through the aisle, I was like, well, damn. All right, this one here, not a new release, but honestly, I'm struggling with my under eyes so much recently. When I was in store picking up the MAC lip products, I think is when I got this, the Studio Radiance 24-Hour Luminous Lift Concealer from MAC in the shade NC10. I have had good luck with NC10 in the past, so I feel good about that. I think it was their pen, their Total Coverage pen, that I had that in that shade. It's like a really cool shade. I think this works for me really well. Anyway, I'm trying to find super lightweight, more luminous concealers at the current moment because I'm gonna have to do a declutter. Like, look at that. That looked like it barely has any coverage at all, which is exactly what I'm looking for these days because I'm just struggling with the dryness under my under eyes and honestly formula just sinking into my fine lines. And so when they're like thicker, they just sink immediately in and do not look good, when they can look really good for a lot of people. So anyway, that's gonna go up here. I do have a lip product from Giorgio Armani. They're discontinuing this, so I got my hands on it. It's the Ecstasy Mirror lip lacquer in the shade Adrenaline. They are phasing this out, so it was like heavily discounted on their website. That's it right there. I don't love this shade, but this was like the last one that was left. It's kind of a corally red, which we'll see if I end up liking the corally red. I don't know if I will, but it's supposed to be, you know, a lip lacquer. Anyway, that can go up here with the lip products too, and it's a stain as well. Yeah, the corally red, I don't know if I will absolutely love. And the final thing that I have that isn't a blush, there's a shit ton of blush, is this eyeshadow from Morphe. I have never tried Morphe eyeshadows before, I'm pretty sure. It's crazy, but by the time I got into makeup, Morphe had already kind of like given themselves a bad reputation, according to me. So like there just wasn't a lot that I was interested in trying from Morphe, and not until recently did I try a couple of their new releases when the blush and the concealer came out. But I was in store and I swatched this because the color story looked really pretty, and when I swatched it I was like, what is this? They've honestly elevated their shimmer formula anyway. Like, I've seen their older palettes, I know that they're not like this. This called something. I might have to open it to see. Oh, the new Chroma Plus blend, I think is what it says. Pigment packed performance all day wear. Chroma Plus. I don't know where I saw it, but it was like somewhere it said, and maybe it was on the display, that it was like upgraded shimmer formula. Or maybe it was on this, the molten metal. That's what it was. So these are molten metal shimmers, but when I swatch them, they're delicious. Like these, obviously, this one obviously, very standard shimmer shade, but when I got my fingers in this, I was like, hello. And then I swatched this one and I was like, oh, it's over. Yeah, that palette has to come home with me. So I am interested in seeing what they got going. It's just really sparkly, and this one is like a taupey shade with silver sparkles. Like, tell me that doesn't look like the new Urban Decay Moon Dust in, I can't even remember the shade, oh my gosh, something. The new shade release of the single. But that's what this looks like to me. Silver sparkles on top of like this brownie taupe, so like this looks like a palette I'd get a shit ton of use out of. So I'm gonna put this where I put the rest of my new palettes to test. Okay, I forgot two things. Well, I didn't see them, so I guess it wasn't like I forgot, but I'm starting to like dig through the cream and liquids now to see which ones are gonna come in. And I had two new lip product releases. The Fenty lip oil in Miss Jellyfish. I have added this as the third shade to my collection of these lip oils. And listen, personally, I love a sparkly lip, so this is all for me. You know, it's more translucent, so it's not necessarily like for everybody. The raspberry one, the one that's like raspberry, I guess, it's very pigmented. It's very opaque, and it was kind of the reason that I ended up going for more shades, because I thought all of them might be like that. But so far I've only tested 3. The second one that I got was like a mocha one. It looks terrible on me and is a little bit more sheer. This one is a little bit more sheer and translucent and sparkly, but I love sparkly lip gloss. I love sparkly lip oils. It's my kind of thing. Like, so for me, this is definitely something that I will get quite a bit of use out of, but I've only worn it the once in testing new makeup, so I'll put it up here with lip products. The Rare Beauty lip gloss in the shade Flicker. This is like a pink sparkly, but it's more like, I don't even want to say sparkly, it's more like pearlescent, very, very fine pearls. And I do enjoy this. So far, you know, it's probably not like the most innovative thing ever, but it's not a bad lip product by any means, and maybe like a better alternative to something extra sparkly if you like Rare Beauty. You know, it's not like too intense. All right, let's move on to the cream and liquid blush that I have now. I'm gonna take one of them out of here. This might look like the same as last month, because it pretty much is. I did not get to test a ton because I went on vacation for a week and then got sick for over a week, so that just ate through the month, honestly. The Makeup Forever though, I can pull out of here. I did test this one a bunch in Swanky Mauve. Guys, listen, guys, I don't know. I don't love this formula. You know, part of it is that it dries down, but this particular shade, I just find like it starts to sheer out too much, and then I'm adding more, and then I add more, and I add more and more, and maybe I'm just buffing it in too much, or maybe it's like a shade thing, but yeah, didn't absolutely love this, but I'm done testing it. I can put it away now. The drugstore ones that I'm not done testing is the Jelly Water Tint. This is a cheek and lip and cheek. I tried it on both, but I'm probably more likely to use it on my cheeks than I am my lips because I didn't love this on the lips. It's got a really plush doe foot applicator, but I mean, aside from that, like it didn't stay on the lips, you know? Like it just like, whoop, where it was gone. And once it was like gone, it's just this popsicle stain. There you go. So I don't know, it just didn't feel like anything on the lips to me. So it's more of a cheek product, I think. Like something that I would use as a cheek product, I should say. And then this So Chic Trio Blush from Kiko. This is eyes, lips, cheeks. But again, something I will probably just use on the cheeks. I'm not big on using formulas like this on my eyes or my lips, really. I'm honestly just not a huge fan of using anything that I use for my cheeks on my lips. I feel like it's church and state, okay? Just keep them separate. That's just a figure of speech. Anyway, super dewy blush drops. This one is from Makeup Revolution. Didn't love this. It dries down to be like a weird popsicle stainy thing. Is it that different than the CoverGirl? I don't know. The CoverGirl's like a little bit more glossy. I don't know. I've used them once, all right? Like, let me not get too ahead of myself. The one time it wasn't my absolute favorite, so that's probably why I'm making all this noise over here. Kylie Cosmetics Hybrid Blush in Somber Sorbet. Somber Sorbet. That'd be a funny name, huh? Use this again one time. Like, that's it. I mean, I'm telling you guys, like, I have been knocked out. Knocked out. Knocked out. It's like a cream powder formula. So you know what? I'll just load myself up, okay? That's not too much. Let's go for it. Let's see how far I can go before I feel overwhelmed. All right, let's go through the So Chic cream blush. I have mine in the shade Rosy Rest. Loved this formula. Very, very simple cream to powder formula. Definitely would be interested to try more from this brand. I hope they remain doing well. I hope they don't like come into Sephora and then, you know, go broke like Ami Collet. I mean, I don't mean to say that in a negative way, but I know it can be tough to meet up with Sephora's demands and shelf space and whatever commissions they're charging. So I just really hope that this brand does well, because so far, like, I like the overall mission. I like where the owners are coming from. So I hope that they remain doing well and can launch things. But so far, you know, that blush, and I've seen their mascara and other things. So hope to continue trying more from the brand. The new Tarte Maracuja Juicy Multi-Stick in the shade Firecracker. I will bring this in as well. I really enjoyed this. It's a little bit of a thicker formula, but I think that it buffs in nicely, and it was not too intensely pigmented. You can see it kind of like, it's very muted. It can be very desaturated. It was very easy to apply. The only thing I didn't get to do was like test it, you know, like I didn't end up keeping this on, but I like kind of that semi-glossy finish that it gives. The Dior stick, I'll just keep going. The Backstage Rosy Glow Stick in 077 Candy. These shades are just my personal favorite, okay? Gold on top of like a peachy pink. You know, this was a little bit of a thicker formula. The one time that I attempted to, well, not that I attempted, that I did a try on with it, but I really love the packaging. Dior ends up being a brand I usually like. The Charlotte Tilbury in the shade Rosy Glow. The Healthy Glow Sticks is what it's called in Rosy Glow. I honestly really enjoyed this formula. It's very thin. It's glossy, but not overly glossy. It's just a thinner formula than the Dior. It's just not packing as like much sparkle. I shouldn't say sparkle, but like this does have that gold tone to it, that gold like metallic finish, where this one is like maybe more silver and more throughout. So I think I'm gonna enjoy that. That one I didn't get to try on more than once. This one from Summer Fridays I did wear all day, Blush Butter Balm in the shade Pink Sunset. So far really enjoyed this too. It's a balm, but it's not sticky. It's so even. You know, when you pick this up and you buff it into the cheeks, just applies perfectly, very evenly, very easy formula to work with if you like something a little bit dewy. And the last one in my little binny bin over here, sorry, is this one from Milk Makeup. It's the new pH activated jelly water tint. I will not be using this again. I used it once. The problem with these is that you cannot see it going on. It's completely clear, and then I'm not even gonna take it out of the box. I'm too tired. It's completely clear, and then it warms up, and then all of a sudden it's like this bright ass pink shade. And not only does it not look flattering on me, you can't control it. You have to like barely tap your brush on, and then you can't see where it's really going on your cheek. And so it's like, well, I don't know if I'm doing too little or too much. You gotta wait for it to dry. It's just a very hard product, you know, to anticipate how much you're gonna need and if you're doing a good job. But if you can't see how well you're doing while you're doing it, it's easy to go overboard. So this is I'll talk about it in a speed reviews, but I'm not gonna be testing that again. All right, while I have a ton more blush, I'm going to save those for next month. I know, you guys, I'm an actual addict when it comes to blush. I think there are a couple that I do want to try. I picked up a couple more purple blushes. I got the Blush Rush liquid blush in Jumpstart from About Face. I picked this up in Ulta at store, honestly, because I've just been wanting to try more purple blush, and this is a formula I've talked to you guys before about really enjoying. I know that people love the Huda ones, not my thing. They dry too fast and they look too flat on my cheeks personally for my preferences. This one has more playtime and a glossier finish, and it's easier to sheer out, and I'm just really getting into purple shade, so we'll try that one. And then this one I also got in store at Ulta because it's a purple shade in Wanderlust. It's the Afterglow blush, so this again is an additional shade in my collection. I already have this formula in Orgasm, so I'm very excited because this one is like this cool toned lilac. Like, look at that. And for my complexion, I think this is gonna look very flattering and not come out pink on me, which tends to happen in these like lilac shades. They don't stay purple, which sometimes what happens is if they go pink, then they start to look more warm on my undertone. And I want it to stay a cool purple tone, and that just doesn't happen. Where I think that this one in, what did I tell you the shade was? Wanderlust. It will happen. Same thing with this. Even though this one could buff out and end up looking a little bit more pink, like I think this one's gonna stay, well, I shouldn't say pink, more warm toned than something like this. This is truly cool tone. So I think I'm really gonna enjoy the Wanderlust one in the Afterglow liquid blush. Also, I don't think these are too sheer for what I'm reaching for these days. Oh, my voice is just struggling. That's gonna be everything that I have to test for the month of August for the cream and liquid. It's a lot of work for myself. I got a lot going on over here. All right, and the very final two products in this drawer before we move on to my everyday makeup drawer, which is gonna end up being quite light. What I'll end up bringing in over here is going to be lip products, basically. That's pretty much what I'm gonna stay with. And I'm just gonna be focusing on testing new makeup this month. If I need to bring in things later, I will, but for like with you guys, oh, and bronzers, I forgot. So like bronzers will be in here, and we'll go through and swap out the lip products. And there's one blush in here that I do wanna test. So like that's gonna be the majority of what's going on in here. But we'll swap these around as soon as I'm done showing you the highlighters, and then we'll go through everything on this side for all the stuff that I was using for July. So this from Natasha Denona is the Hygen Skincare Infused Glow Beautifier in 01 Light. This is a really beautiful formula and very lit from within glow. Like, look how smooth that is. But it's not super intense on the cheeks when buffed in with a brush. It just looks very natural and melts in. This one from Benefit is a new release. Their Glow La La in Aurora. It's fair light pink. And this one's blinding and still a nice, soft, smooth, like putty-like texture, but it's not as smooth as the one from Natasha. I mean, it's a good highlighter. It's just blinding. I like a blinding highlight. I mean, you might as well not even give me a highlighter unless it blinds. So there's a place for those, you know, in life, I think, and there's a place for lighter highlighters. So many people have different preferences, and it's good to just, you know, keep making different highlighters with different intensities for different preferences. Anyway, there's some hair going on in here, but that's gonna complete the highlighters that I bring in. There are some highlighters in here that we'll go over that I just didn't use enough, and so I won't put back. I'll just keep in here. But let's move on. I'm gonna swap these around. Okay guys, let's get into it. So I had a ton of lip products that I pulled in probably for June, and I've kept them in here through the month of July, but I have used them all and now it's time to go. These ones from Queen Musea, they're really nice. They're like a matte formula. What are they called? No. Yeah, okay, matte cream lipstick. This is in Mantra. I like them. I received them in PR, and I like the packaging, and for like a matte cream or kind of like a satin finish. They're kind of nice. This one's in Becky Sharp, but I do notice that, you know, they kind of accentuate my lip lines a bit. I don't think I'm resolved to getting rid of these. I got to pick these two shades. I think I'm still gonna hold on to them for now. I don't know if they're like my favorite, and honestly I'm just not reaching for like lipsticks at the current moment. That doesn't mean I want to go and get rid of all of my lipsticks and then like have none, but I definitely want to put these back. I mean, they're still good, but I probably have had them for a year now. The MAC, I love this. I wore this a lot. Squirt Plumping Gloss Stick and Heat Sensor. Even though it's an orange shade and I don't typically get along with orange shades, it's such a muted orange and it's pretty sheer that it actually works on me. This is like it's a cooling plumping gloss stick. It's not really plumping, not like really plumping, you know, but not burning anyway. So this one I used a bunch. This one from Rare Beauty, I said I wanted to keep up here because I didn't use that much, and honestly I used like one more time, maybe two more times. I didn't use it a bunch, but this one I think I'll just leave up here because I like this formula so much. And you know what, to work it's really nice because, you know, it's a tint, it's a stain, and it does leave a nice finish on my lips, or a nice tint stain, whatever I'm trying to say. So I think I'll leave that up here. This one is the Oil Gelée. It's called the Tinted Lip Oil from Merit and Pink Beat. You know, I don't necessarily like love how kind of minimal and sheer Merit is, but this is one lip product that I do really enjoy, and it is a nice color. It's honestly not too warm on the lips, which is really, I think, unusual because this looks like it would be a pretty warm shade. But it isn't, so I do enjoy that. I'm gonna keep it. The Gloss Crush Lip Serum from Flower Beauty in the shade Fuchsia Crush is just a nice like fuchsia lip gloss. And I love fuchsia colors. I love red colors. I love bright pink colors when it comes to a gloss. It's just my favorite kind of shades on me. I like when a gloss like really pops. And usually something more pigmented is something that I prefer when it comes to a gloss, so that's really nice. And then I pulled in the Clarins lip oil in the shimmer finish that they sell at Macy's. They don't sell this at Sephora, and it is nice. I don't think I used it more than one time. Some of these just fade off so fast that I don't get to enjoy them a super long period of time, because like if I take them with me to work and they go in my purse, then I feel like they never come out. There's just like lip products that I have at my desk, and so, you know, if I'm not wearing these on the weekends, I don't necessarily get to like reapply them and love them longer than they last on my lips, you know, when I first apply them. So maybe this is something I'll keep up here. These two Kissing Jelly Gloss Hybrids from Too Faced are really good. Like you can see I've gotten like a decent amount of use from them, like especially this one. I'm wearing it right now. This one is in the shade Grape Soda, which I ended up getting later because it has like a little bit of shimmer to it. These are truly a lip gloss hybrid slash oil hybrid rather. They're really comfortable. They're very plush on the lips. They feel very hydrating and just very comfy and sort of thick, but they're not sticky, which is like where that hybrid comes in. And this one's a really cool tone shade, really offers like a nice sparkle, but it's so fine. This is one of those that you cannot feel the sparkles, like not even if you tried. And then this one just like really cools down my lips. So that's the one thing that I got this shade for, is just you don't see like a cool tone kind of blue that's like sheer very often. So yeah, that's what I got this for. It just really cools down my lips, and I like it. But I've used both of these quite a bunch. I was grabbing for them a lot apparently. Lip products is definitely something that I want to bring in on today's Shop My Stash. I'm probably just gonna end up holding the camera when I do that, because mounting it right now, I don't know, I can't see myself doing that. All right, all my singles. I brought in all the colorful shadows that I had from Sephora, I think. Yes, I did. Here's the third one. And I did wear all three of these. I think I have Oh Baby, which is Metal Effect. They're all the Metal Effect. Then I have To the Moon and Back, and then this one is in the shade first light. This one is definitely broken, but I'm pretty sure I wore this one. I know I wore the other two. I have pressed this back. This one I'm like debating. Did I actually wear it? This one I'm gonna keep up here. I can't remember. And then I brought in a Kulfi shadow. This I added later. It's like turned to powder now, whereas normally these were like a cream. But yeah, it's turned into like fully a powder shadow, which it still performs really well, but I would like to add something to it to make this creamy again. I haven't had these like a super long time, so I think that they're still fine, but as a powder, I'll still continue to use them too. This one is in Satara Sparkles, which is my favorite, and I ended up pulling this one in later. I have 2 or 3 other shades. And then I kept some Moira ones out that I still hadn't tried from all the Moira ones that I have in these shadow pots, because I have like 6 of them, and I pulled in, I think, pretty much all of them last month. I don't know if I got to this one right here, but I did end up using Muse, which is really pretty. It's a very deep, sparkly shade. This is like a really nice one and done. I'll try and swatch it with a pinky because getting my finger in there is pretty hard. But like, do you see just how like absolutely sparkly these are? So shimmery. So I'm pretty sure I used this one. I don't know, you know what? I only have one single up here from ColourPop, so I might as well keep this one and then this one, which is one I know I definitely didn't use in Literally. Because you know what? It's kind of more like a champagne-y taupe shade, and so it was not the first one I was reaching for. And honestly, when I'm going for singles now, I kind of want them to be pretty deep based. Whereas before I would kind of only reach for champagne singles. Now I do not reach for champagne singles. I want them to be pretty deep colored. I don't know. You just go through phases, I guess. But the Kulfi and the 2 Sephora ones I'll put back. I also pulled in the Dazzle Stick from KVD, one of them, because I have 2 of these. And this one is a deeper shade in Force Field, but these I really like. They're a nice creamy formula and they feel cold on the skin and they're pretty sparkly. Like, it's a decent formula. Something I think is like kind of overlooked because I think they're pretty easy to work with. You know, you don't need a lot of product. You can kind of use your finger or you can even pick this up on a brush. I think it's pretty quick and easy. I used that a couple times, so I'll put it back. And then this one is a loose pigment from AOA Studio in the shade Enchant. This is my favorite loose pigment ever. It's very sparkly and it shows up like that on the eyes, but it lasts all day too. And it's really nice with like a glitter glue, and then you just like pat it on with a brush and you're done. Like, it's a really easy loose pigment, whatever that means. So I'll probably just keep that one up here too, because when I said that I wanted to keep it up here and use it again, I never did. Between testing eyeshadow palettes and between all the singles I pretty much had in here from like last month, and the fact that I was out of commission for 2 weeks, I did not end up reaching for it again, so I will. And then down here I had my 2 powders for Shop My Stash. I had the Tower 28 powder, which I have come to really enjoy. The Get Set powder, I don't like it in the powder blushes, but part of that is because it's so matte in whatever formula they're using in this that it doesn't work for me in blushes because I don't really like a matte cheek. But I do love this powder because it's on the matte side, it's on the blurring side, it's not super like finely milled and like loose. This is a much more mattifying powder. This is good for me all over the face, and this is great under the eyes too. I don't think this is good for people with dry skin, so I use that a bunch. Plus we've got the 4 powders in here, but I also keep my Beauty Bakery Flour Better Not Bitter powder. It's my go-to powder. It's literally the powder I reach for when I don't know what else to grab. This has served me well for 4 years. I have loved this powder like nearly half a decade at this point. Actually, no, it's been 5 years. I started using this powder in 2020 probably, and at one point I loved it so much I ended up getting a backup. You know, I want to say I probably got this in like a BoxyCharm and didn't know anything about it, but it's kind of one of those powders that I find equivalent to like a Huda Beauty powder. I'm not even kidding. I think that this is smoothing, blurring, and locks my makeup down. I don't think it's too heavy or too cakey, but yeah, I think it's a powder that like not a lot of people know about, but it has served me well for the last 5 years. So that's a powder that basically always stays in here. I have 2 bronzers left in here. I did do a bronzer collection video, so a lot of my bronzers went back. The only 2 I put back in here were this one and the Tarte one, which I'll show you in a second. This is the Cloud Paint Seamless Cheek Color in sale. I didn't use this enough at the time, that last month even, that I wanted to keep this one in here, and guess what? I think I'm still gonna do that. Especially because I've been targeting my cream and liquids, because I'm always afraid they're going to go bad, which is what you guys will see in the next one that I'm going to show you, because it's garbage. This one from Tarte is the Sculpt Tape in the shade Light Soft Bronze, rather. It stinks. It smells like alcohol. It has a shelf life of only 6 months, and I've had it a year. So it stinks. I wish I got more use out of it. It is not, I'm not going to swatch it, but it's not like a contour shade, even though it is a contour. It is definitely a rosy toned bronzy shade, and it's really beautiful, and I really like this formula. It's just that these liquids and these puffies, they go bad so quickly. So that's a declutter that's going into the garbage. So we definitely need to shop my stash for the bronzer category. Now let's move on into highlighters. So the ones that I used the most were the ones from Bobbi Brown. I have Peach Glow and I have Pink Glow, and these have been some of my favorite highlighters over the years because they're just a very blinding, but they're still like a nice lit from within glow. They're just very smooth. That one is Pink Glow. They're a nice baked formula too. And here's Peach Glow. I'll swatch it right here. See how they're like really light, but you can build these up to look like something pretty intense. But yeah, like just the smoothness on the skin is so beautiful. Quite an underrated formula, honestly. Don't hear a lot of people talking about these, but they're some of my favorite in my collection. So those will go back. J-Cat You Glow Girl in Seaside Frost. I was stumbling over that for a second. This is a really nice also baked highlighter formula. This one is much more blinding. It's a little bit of a thicker formula than the Bobbi Brown. This packaging feels like it's going to snap at any moment, but it hasn't. I got this when it was new. Let's see. I want to put this away. I did use this a bunch, because that one was in here for 2 months. And then the Mega Glow highlighter from Wet n Wild in Precious Petals. This one I didn't use as much. And you know what? It's not as like blinding as some of them. You know, it's almost like more of like a peachy blush topper. Is it gonna focus at all? I don't know. There you go. I mean, it's pretty, but I think I do want to keep this one in here. I don't think I used it again. And I said, I'm gonna use it some more because it was in here for 2 months. My Ilia one, the cream highlighter in Glint. I don't even think I used this at all. Again, being out of commission. And then when I was using like a shimmery blush, I wasn't reaching for a highlighter like at all. It's just not something that I like to do. This is a very natural highlight. Very, very natural. But I like applying it on top of a matte blush with a sponge because you just get like a broader application, and I think it looks really pretty. And then the Rare Beauty highlighter in Enchant. I didn't use this one time. I brought this in for this month and I didn't use it at all. So I think I'm going to keep these in here, and I don't think I'm going to shop my stash for any highlighters, because if I do, with the other 2 that I have, I don't know, 5 is probably enough for the month. I know that's kind of boring, but with all this new stuff that I have picked up, all the new makeup releases in general, etc., I think 5 is fine. Now down here are 2 blush that I am testing in like a chopping block kind of style. This is the Beauty Light Wand High Blush from Charlotte in Pink Gasm. Part of the reason is that this is probably going to expire soon. It's still working, but I wanted to get more use out of it before I threw it away. I mean, that's basically what it comes down to. It's just not going to last that much longer. So I'm going to keep it in here. And then the other one I have is the cream blush in the natural matte finish from ColourPop in the shade Coyote. The reason that I held on to this was because it was like this purple shade. Man, it feels so dry. I don't know if it's like as purple as I was hoping. It's kind of more like a berry shade. And at the time it was kind of unique in my collection. I just don't know if it's giving what I was hoping it would give. You know, it's not necessarily like a cool tone purple. It's more like, I don't know, like a muted berry. And that's more of what it is. So probably not something that I'm going to end up holding on to, but I thought I would give it one more shot. I didn't love this formula to begin with, and I had purchased 5 of these when they first launched the year before last year. Who knows? Time just goes, especially with makeup. So I'll give it one more shot before I get rid of it. So those 2 are kind of like in my chopping block. So they'll still be tested too. So the only two things that I need to pull in are bronzers and lip products. That's it. So that's kind of boring, and we only decluttered one thing, so it's a little baby declutter. So let me take the camera off the tripod and we'll grab some lippies and we'll grab some bronzers. All right, so this is one of two of my lip drawers, if you know. Yeah, I've been staring at this for like a hot minute going like, what am I to grab? You know, one of the things I want to do as a lip product declutter, it's not as though I haven't done one in a while. It's honestly, I just get so much better at knowing myself. Like the more time goes on and the more I get to play with makeup. Plus our preferences like constantly change, I feel like, you know? I don't know why that is, but it just is. And so, you know, with the accumulation of lip products that I've definitely done in a little bit since the last declutter, I think I'm probably gonna have to pull a lot of these out, swatch them, and just be honest with myself. There's just things in here that never get touched, you know? Maybe even like touched the first time I bought them and then kind of haven't gone back in like over a year. So sometimes you just gotta like be a big girl and say goodbye. And so some of these I definitely need to do that with. These three from Tower 28, the Shine On Jelly Lip whatever, I think I want to pull these in because this one was the limited edition one with whey. It's not gonna focus, but it's so deliciously scented that I want to get use out of it. Like I don't want these to go bad. This was so good and I haven't reached for it since probably it's been too long. I don't know. Let's pull all three of those in because one is more tinted, one is like a gloss, like a shimmer. We'll swatch these when we get back to the table. And I'm just not sure where else I want to go with it. I was like staring at these for like a long time. I think like maybe the Glow Getter lip oils from Moira Beauty. I mean, I had like all 6 shades that they originally launched with, and I've only held on to 3. But you know, if you guys know, I like a really pigmented gloss. These are a lip oil, but they feel like a gloss, you know? They're not like super smooth. They're more sticky and they last longer. So I think I'll probably pull those in, see if I like them, kind of chopping block them, and I think that's it. That's all I'm gonna go for. I mean, there's so many good formulas in here, but then there's also so many that I just like do not touch. It's like wild, you know? Why? Overconsumption. Oh, no, I want to pull in this Gisou one. I have not touched this honey lip oil in a hot minute. This one's orange. Like I kind of wish I didn't get the shade, but anyway. So no, I knew I wanted to pull that one in. That one was actually on my mind to pull in. All right. And I actually had to move my bronzer drawer because it was like overflowing from where I had it because I've just accumulated so many. Actually, let me get the light back over here. I do such a good job rotating my bronzers, I do feel. But I want to pull this one in from Kaleidos. It's a blush. I'll talk about it. Rare Beauty Stick and the Moira Contour. Sorry, it's not focusing, but that's what we're doing. That's it. All right. Do I have any other bronzers? I did purchase a new bronzer that will end up going into my like testing new makeup drawers. So I don't need more than 3 probably. Okay. All right, let's go. All right, we're back here at the desk. Here is everything we pulled in. Let's do like the bronzers and contours first because there's only, what did I pull in? 3. This from Kaleidos is one of the mono blushes. It's in Hot Shot. It's just a really rosy toned, I mean, honestly, like contour shade for me. It's not like the kind of blush that I would go for. I mean, it's really pretty, but it's definitely like a sculpting product that I would go for because it's rosy toned. I kind of use it interchangeably as like, you know, a cool toned bronzer. Oh, it's so good. It's so good for that, for fair skin. I haven't used that in a minute. That's why I wanted to pull that one in. And then this one from Moira Beauty is the Face Sculpt. Look, the writing is coming off. This one is in the shade Fair Light. This is their latest shade in 100. You know, this is like a deeper contour shade, but I kind of feel like it has a little bit of a warmer undertone, you know, so it can kind of be used as like sculpting slash a little bit bronzy. I haven't reached for that one either in a hot minute. And then this one from Rare Beauty is the bronzer stick in the shade Bright Side. This was made to be more cool toned, but you can see it kind of also has like a warmer undertone. All 3 of these are fabulous, so I'm very excited to use these. And that just makes 4, which is good. Then I can really get use out of them. All right, let's get into these lip products. So these lip jellies, what are they called? The Shine On lip jellies from Tower 28. This is the Chillin' in St. Bart's that they did with whey. Just a clear gloss. I've clearly used this over like a red lip, but it's just kind of like stained. Oh, it just smells so freaking delicious. It's clear, but it's like thick. These are more like lip oils, quite honestly. This one here is supposed to be shimmery, and this one has no shade. Like, the sticker is gone off of the bottom. It might have come off in the drawer, but this one is like a gold gloss. I don't know if you can see that right there. Really pretty, but like mostly clear, you know? It just kind of has like a slight, like warmish tint to it when it gets to the lips. And then this one is my pigmented one in the shade Sesame. I really like these, but again, they're more like lip oils. They're thick, they're just not sticky. So that's why I kind of think of them as like a bit like lip oils. I'm gonna go ahead and not know where I'm putting anything. There we go. All right, the Gisou one is in the shade Mango Passion Punch. You know, this was the only shade that was in stock when I was in store. It's orange, so it's not necessarily like one I would have liked to have gotten, but it's still really pretty on the lips. Like, it doesn't detract from how pretty this is. And, you know, sometimes an orange, if it's like a bright enough orange, can look really good. Let's put that here. And then these Glow Getter ones, hydrating lip oils from Moira Beauty. I told you I only held on to 3 shades. Only Smooches I held on to because it was really cool tone. And it's like a cool tone purple, which I don't have a ton of, or any of, maybe, I don't know. But they're very thick and they're very sticky. Lovely Rose, at least their first launch was. You know, it's hard to say now, like, if it's still like the same formula, because they have made many shade extensions in these. So I don't know if the formula is still thick and sticky, but at the time they all came out with like these, but they're very pigmented. So I don't know if they came out with any sheer ones. They all had like color to them. And this one is in Tea Berry. I think these were the 3 deepest, but also kind of like the 3 that were of a range that was like far enough apart, because some of the shades looked very similar, with this one being very unique in my collection. So like a deep berry shade, kind of a mauve shade, and then a purpley cool tone shade. I mean, I don't mind that they're sticky because they do last a lot longer. They're probably not for everybody if you don't like something that's like really pigmented like I do. And that really is it, you guys. That's everything that is going to complete my everyday makeup, and then my testing new makeup for the month of August. Like, I am set here. This is like a lot of stuff. These are more packed than they probably have been in a while. So anyway, if you guys are not currently subscribed, I'd love to see you subscribe. Thank you for joining me today. I am out of here, and I hope to catch you all in my next video. Bye guys.